The small things that seem like they don't matter at all eventually become the big things that will hold you back. And this is something that I've experienced recently, literally just yesterday. So I've been talking about this update that I want to push out to you guys, to you, with my app, Dualie. First of all, what is Dualie? It's my gamified to-do list slash day planner. It helps you get things done, stay accountable, and just, yeah, um, that's the app. And again, I want to push out this update for it. And there's one thing that I overlooked, literally just a single line of code that has delayed the update for more than 2 weeks. And without boring you with the context, the technical details of it all, with the app, I use this tool called Expo, and that tool had a major update going from Expo 51 to 52. And normally I wouldn't upgrade right away because you want things to kind of stable out and see how other people are taking it and what people have to say about it when they do upgrade. Anyway, this time around, I wanted to update right away to Expo 52 because it had some changes that upgraded the tooling that would allow me to do a better implementation of what I wanted to do with Dualie, which is an offline feature so that, you can use it when you're offline. Anyway, I jumped into conclusions. Since it is a new update with Expo, as soon as I ran into issues with my actual production build, I immediately, in my head, I was like, with everything I know, with new updates and things like that, I immediately blamed Expo 52. I'm like, there's no way it's my code that's wrong here. It has to be Expo 52. There has to be something wrong with the update because in my development build, in my development environment, everything works as planned. My offline version works. But as soon as I create an actual build to push out to you so that you can use it, it doesn't work. So it can't be me. It has to be, Expo. So basically, I started pointing fingers instead of looking at myself and my mistake and just, my work instead of double checking that. So definitely not cool, but that's where I was at, and it caused this huge delay. So that's what I mean by me experiencing this firsthand, overlooking the small details, and eventually it became the big thing. And here's the thing, right? It's always easier to just blame external factors when things go wrong, that person, that thing, that tool, in my case, Expo, like I said. But more often than not, the issue is us. That is the harsh truth out of all of this, Taking ownership, it's not fun, but it's super necessary. Like, this goes beyond coding. With what I'm talking about so far, it goes beyond that. In fitness, if you don't warm up, for example, you skip that portion of your workout before you actually do the workout, at some point that could lead to an injury, and even then, if you don't do mobility routines and you just focus on strength training, at some point you become stiff as hell and your muscle is almost pointless because you actually can't even use it for actual things that you would need it for in life. So if you skip those things, at some point it leads to an injury when it comes to fitness. And in if we're talking about productivity, if you ignore the things that steal your attention, like the little notifications that pop up on your phone, if you don't find a way to limit that in some way, or the apps that you have installed, at some point, the little minute or two that it steals from your day to day, at some point, it it will become big enough that you may not even notice that it's hindering you from progressing with your goals. So there's consequences that come from your actions or inactions, right? Small things, when ignored, they turn into bigger issues. And again, I've mentioned what I've lost, not owning up to my mistake sooner, overlooking that single line of code. I lost a lot of time, more than 2 weeks now. I lost momentum with Dueli. I lost motivation to work on it. So development stalled. Now you guys don't get the benefit. You don't get the benefit from it. And, energy wise, it took up my mental, and it just drained my energy from not just the project itself, but like in just my day to day, because it's in my head. So the main lesson that I'm trying to say here is that just to check yourself first before you start pointing fingers, because the issue is probably you, right? Because again, anything that happens, most of the things that happen, you have a say on it. That's really what I'm trying to get to. But anyway, that's it for the video. Again, the update for making the way they work offline should be available for you guys, for you, in the next week. That I can say. That's all I have. Take the small things seriously, because they eventually become the big things.